Everyone, welcome to Ask Me classes. So our today's topic of discussion of MCQ is steel structure design. So we have been continuing this series from highway engineering, then we had surveying, then we had irrigation engineering. So today we are having steel structure design. So the first question is, the dead load includes self weight of the structure. Which of the following statement is correct? The rolled steel tubes are efficient structural sections to be used as compression members. Correct. The rolled steel flats are used for lacing of elements in built-up members. Correct. The rolled steel bars threaded or looped at the ends are used as tension members. Correct. All of the above. The value of factor of safety is decided keeping in view average strength of material. Correct. Value of design loads. Correct. Value of internal forces. Correct. All of these. A strut is a compression member which is small in length, loaded lightly, vertical or inclined. All of these. The effective area of a butt weld is taken as the product of the effective throat thickness and the effective length of butt weld. Within the elastic range, the bulk modulus of elasticity is defined as the ratio of hydrostatic stress to volumetric strain. The distance between two consecutive rivets of adjacent chains and measured at right angles in the direction of the force in the structural member is known as gauge distance of the rivet. The effective length of a column is the length between the points of zero shear. Factor of safety is the number by which the yield stress of material is divided to give the working stress. Which one is placed above the other and they are connected by means of rivets? The joint is known as lap joint. When a single angle strut is connected with two or more number of rivets, its effective length is adopted as 0.85 times the length of the strut center to center of intersection of each end. Which of the following statement is wrong? The dead loads are known from the beginning of the design. This is wrong. Number of rivets required in a riveted joint is equal to force by rivet value. Slenderness ratio of a compression member is the ratio of the effective length of the compression member to the radius of gyration. The strength at which steel fails under repeated application of load is known as fatigue strength. Which of the following statement is correct? Snap heads are used for rivets connecting structural members. Correct. Snap head is also termed as button head. Correct. Counter sunk heads are used to provide a flush surface. Correct. All of the above. If the number of rivets are used in the if the same number of rivets are used in the joints, then which of the following pattern will yield highest efficiency? Diamond riveting. Rolled steel angle sections are classified as two series. The outer and the inner faces of a rolled steel beam section are inclined to each other and they intersect at a certain angle. This angle of intersection for Indian standard medium weight beams is 8 degree. When the load line coincides with the center of gravity of the rivet group, then the rivets are subjected to shear only. When a load is exerted or transferred from one surface to another in contact, the stress is known as bearing stress. The common assumption that all rivets are equally a non-eccentric load is valid at a load equal to the failure load. The longitudinal space between the effective length of the intermittent butt welds is taken not more than 16 times the thickness of the thinner part. The working stress is the stress which may be developed in the member without causing structural damage to it. The reinforcement of butt weld is ignored in calculating stress, increases efficiency of joint, should not exceed 3 mm. All of these. The structural analysis deals with the determination of loads and other forces to which various parts of the structure are subjected. A joint in the length of a column is known as column splice. Allowable working stress in compression in the column splice plates may be taken as 125 Newton per mm square. The formula which takes into account any initial crookedness of the column and imperfectness of axial loading is second formula. The net sectional area of a tension member is equal to axial pull into allowable stress, no. Axial pull minus allowable stress, no. Axial pull plus allowable stress, no. None of the above. The effective length of a fillet weld is taken as the actual length minus twice the size of the weld. The maximum allowable stress for rolled steel beams and channel is 228.5 megapascal. A skeleton structure is one in which the member is represented by a line. A channel section consists of one wave and two flanges. The structural member subjected to compressive force in a direction parallel to its longitudinal axis is called column, post, stanchion, any of these. The main advantage of steel member is that it has high strength, correct, is gas and watertight, correct, has a long service life, all of this. The axial load which is sufficient to keep the column in a slight deflected shape is called critical load, crippling load, buckling load, any of these. The bearing stress is calculated on the net projected area of contact. The effective length of continuous compression members is adopted between
0.7 and 1 times the distance between center of intersection. If the width and thickness of a structure is small in comparison to its length, it is known as one-dimensional structure. Rolled steel beams are designated by the series to which beams section belong, followed by depth of section and weight per meter length of the beam. A steel plate is 300 mm wide and 10 mm thick. A rivet of nominal diameter 18 mm is driven. The net sectional area of the plate is 2805 mm square. As per Indian standards, the rolled steel beams, steel I sections are classified into 5 series. The ratio of transfer strain to the longitudinal strain under an axial load is known as Poisson's ratio. The angle of inclination of lacing bars with longitudinal axis of the component member should not be less than 40, more than 70, both A and B. The rivet line is also known as Srrb line, back line, gauge line, all of these. Rolled steel flats designated by 50 ISF 8 means the flat is of 50 mm width and 8 mm thick. The distance measured along one rivet line from the center of a rivet onto it to the center of the adjoining rivet on the adjacent parallel rivet line is known as staggered pitch, alternate pitch, reeled pitch. So answer will be any of these. In designing a riveted joint, it is assumed that load is uniformly distributed, correct. Rivet hole is completely filled, correct. Friction between plates is neglected, all of the above. So thank you so much for being with us. This was all about our steel structure design MCQs. Please be with us in this series. We'll be coming up with next with RCC. Then we will be having other subjects like hydrology, environmental, public health engineering, sanitary engineering, water supply engineering. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.